No, listen to me. You go find that dim-witted Tommy Salami and his dumb brother, Tony Baloney, because they are done working for me. Capiche? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and ridiculousness. Anyways, though, Netflix dropping a brand new kind of limited series documentary look into something very fascinating, and it's called Fear City, New York versus the Mob. 5 mafia families ruled New York with a bloody fist in the 1970s and 80s until a group of federal agents tried the unthinkable, taking them down. So is this new Fear City look at New York mobsters a fascinating watch? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Fear City, if you've already seen this one or very much looking forward to it. Now let's get into some of the good. So yes, I love a good story of mobsters and real life stuff and corruption and whatnot, and that's exactly what real life has, and that's exactly what Fear City has. It jumps into New York in the 1970s and kind of the rise of all of these different groups of mafia and how it is revealed that they are essentially running everything. The unions, the labor unions, the construction, the concrete, the clothing. It is fascinating how these people have their hands in so many different pots, essentially, and are able to move money so quickly around. So, like, just the true life aspects and the way that they crafted everything to bring you the facts is fascinating. Again, this is 3 episodes, and it keeps you engaged throughout these 3 episodes because it brings in all of the characters. It's almost like a video game type because it's like, boom, you find the soldier, you find the boss, you find the head boss, you find the Don. Like, it is a fascinating thing, or to look at the hierarchy of everything that is structured within these mobsters, because it also shows each of them, and they also drop mentions of like John Gotti and whatnot, but each of them is like this person that is like, oh, that's the wealthy guy, that's the business guy, that's the asshole. Like, it is fascinating that these mafia dons or mafia bosses fall into like this stereotype. So it's almost goofy and funny as well, like that. But the way that they presented the facts along with the interviews of each of these essentially mafia people that were in cahoots with both the FBI, this government, and the mafia, but also FBI agents, CIA, is fascinating because it goes into their own element. Like, one guy is in a gym, one guy is in a car, one guy is in a barber shop, which is very funny, the banter between the two of them. But they are able to make it interesting, not just a one-on-one with a camera. They put them in like a car, they put them in their element, and you get their personality, you get who these people were. And also, when they're first introduced, each different person, when they're first introduced, it shows them present day and shows them what they were looking like at that time. So it's almost like this comparison of like, oh, that guy has definitely changed, or oh yeah, that guy was definitely a mobster. So it's fascinating to see that the mafia was in cahoots with all of these people, with just honestly running New York City. But then they also turn it in this weird positive light of this actually, in a roundabout way, cleaned up New York City. It made New York City what New York is today. It was basically run down, disgusting, and whatnot. And all of these mafia people, even though they were bad, they were doing murders, they were doing some bad things. It brought money, it brought stability, it brought more people into the city, especially the New York City skyline. They kept building and building and building, especially when you find out that they were in the concrete business. So every single building that they were essentially building, the mafia was getting a cut. So even though they were doing horrible things, and it dives more into the details of all of these dons and soldiers and bosses and whatnot, there is almost this silver lining to all of it. And obviously this is a documentary, so they can only do so much with the material that they are given, making it so exciting. And I think that they did a great job of putting a unique spin on this documentary, or this limited series. However, I think that they could have almost dove a little bit more into the backstory of the mafia, or the interesting members of the mafia. Again, a lot of them are in prison, a lot of them had passed away, a lot of them were murdered. So it's very much centralized on the FBI, the CIA, government officials. Rudy Giuliani is in there. So it's very much skewed towards a certain perspective of things. I mean, they still touch on quite a bit. They touch on the people that they run into, but it is fascinating. Again, I think that that's the word I'm going to use. It's fascinating to see how these people got in close with these people, how they were getting caught, and almost how they had this mutual agreement amongst one another. Overall, Fear City is a fascinating look at the mafia, the rise and fall of them through the 70s, 80s, until, you know, their downfall. With it presenting these interesting facts in an interesting, entertaining manner, with great pieces here or there, touching on the laws, touching on everything, and almost how New York was built because of the mafia, but with it being very much kind of skewed towards a certain perspective. I'd check out Fear City. I mean, if you're looking for a fun documentary that's a very quick watch with some interesting concepts in it and some almost tension built in there too of these real life people, I'd check it out. In closing, I'm going to give Fear City 3.5 out of 5 illegal businesses. So what did you guys think of Fear City? If you've already seen this one or very much now looking forward to it on Netflix, I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. I have no idea what's coming for the rest of the week, so stay tuned. Following all of my social media down below, like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.